What's going on, everybody? I'm here with Addie.
What's up, guys?
And today we're going to be teaching you guys how to safely and effectively do a proper squat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not like that. We're going to be highlighting the setup, the eccentric or negative phase, as well as the concentric or positive phase of the squat. Let's get to it.
So here, me and Anthony just started out with 5 minutes on the bike. Before you do any type of exercise, you really want to make sure that you're doing a dynamic warm-up. So biking for us, we were moving around those legs, we were getting blood flow to the legs and getting ready to squat.
Really just aiming to loosen up the muscles, deliver blood, which is going to be carrying the oxygen to the muscles, and just give them a chance to have a proper warm-up.
So here I'm showing you how to set the barbell holders. You want to set it to a height that's not too high, not too low. It should be right near your collarbones.
So here Addie's setting up the safety bars. It's crucial that you do this whenever you're squatting alone in particular, because this may save you in case for some reason you can't push the load up. If you do have to bail out on the weight, you're told just to release it from the back and let it drop. So guys, what I'm holding right here, as you could see in the video, is a barbell clip. You use these to prevent the weights from all sliding off and then jerking back the other way, which can lead to an accident or some type of injury. So here I'm explaining to Addie where she wants to get upright under the bar. You want the top portion of your traps to get right up to the knurling of the bar, which is going to be that spindly looking section right along the middle. So she's coming up directly under it. She's going to lift up and take 2 steps backwards.
So once you take those 2 steps back, you want to make sure that your feet are hip to shoulder width apart. You don't want your feet to be too close and you don't want your feet to be too far for a regular barbell back squat.
So here I'm reinstating that you want to maintain your spinal integrity when you're performing the squat throughout the whole motion. By this I mean your lower as well as upper back should be particularly straight.
So having your back particularly straight will ensure that you are not arching your back too much or rounding out your back too much during your repetitions. So here Anthony's pointing to my shoulder blades. He's telling me to retract my shoulders backwards. So that means if your shoulders are like this, you're pulling them back together. Think that you're squeezing a tennis ball right in between those shoulder blades. You want to make sure that your elbows are pointing straight down to the ground. You don't want them to be pointing backwards. You don't want them to be pointing forward.
When you're going from that arched back, or you're almost going to be lifting your hips up to your belly button as well. This is going to ensure that you'll have a proper engagement of the core as well as an equal balance of your back stabilizing muscles.
So as I'm squeezing that core and engaging my abs, I'm creating intra-abdominal pressure. That's pressure in 360 degrees of your core. So you're thinking breathe in, squeeze those abs, and it'll create that pressure throughout your reps. So that does it for the setup. Next we're going to talk about the eccentric phase, or the going down.
So when beginning this eccentric phase, you want to remember to initiate it with your knees and not your hips. By this I mean your knees bending should occur first. Don't automatically think just stick your butt out and sit down, because that's going to lead to another arched back issue. Remember that your kneecap should track your second big toe, or your middle toe. Not your second big toe.
So your knees should be tracking over your second toe, but they should not be going over your toes. If you're looking at me from the side, you can see that my knees are tracking that toe, but they're not passing over my toes. So we talked about the setup, the eccentric phase, and now we're at the bottom of the squat. We're going to talk about the concentric phase, or going up. To push up, you're pushing from the middle of your foot, and you're thinking to push the ground away. Don't just think stand up. Pretend that you're pushing the ground into itself, using all the force that you can to stand back up. So once you stand up from your last rep, as you're walking the bar into the rack, you don't want to look side to side for it. You want to keep your eyes straight. If you set the bar to the correct height and you walk forward, the bar should hit the rack. You'll definitely hear it, you'll feel it, and then you let it go. Looking side to side will throw you off balance, and you might not be able to rack it properly. So we taught you the setup, the eccentric phase, and the concentric phase, and now we're going to go over some common mistakes in a squat that we see all the time. So if you've never squatted before, we're going to show you these common mistakes to prevent you from doing it when you try to squat. And if you have squatted before, we want you to pay attention to these and make sure that you're not someone making these mistakes.
Don't be that guy. The mistake Addie's making is that she's flexing her spine way too far forward. She's not maintaining a straight lower back or even an upper back, which is going to lead to some serious spinal discomfort.
If you're leaning too far forward with that bar, it's going to cause your knees to go over your toes and your heels to come up off the ground, which will prevent you from pushing from the middle of your foot.
Here you can see Addie came back off the squat rack and took way too many steps. She should have been taking 2. Instead, she takes about 12 and is standing there, which is going to lead to you just exerting your energy to hold the load on top of your body. Again, placing more and more stress on your lower spine.
Here I'm initiating the movement with my hips. So you can see as I'm going down for this squat, I'm pushing my butt so far back. My butt is going back before my knees are even bending. And you can tell I'm not getting as low in the squat. My chest is too far forward. My heels are coming up off the ground. In this video, I'm arching my lower back way too much. I'm not keeping my core tight.
So finally, one of the most prevalent common mistakes people make when they're performing and first learning how to do a squat is something we call knee valgus and knee varus. So what knee valgus is when the knees bend inward and almost touch each other when you're coming up or coming down. Knee varus is when your knees bend outward.
You also don't want your knees to wiggle as you're going up or down. We know that sometimes it gets heavy and sometimes that's the only way you're going to get it up. And if you do that, that should be your last rep. Your knees should not be going back and forth. They only should be going straight down to that second toe and straight back up.
So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch our video on how to perform a proper squat. Me and Addie had a lot of fun doing this. We hope you guys, again, stay tuned with us.
So hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button, and give us a comment if you like this video. Stay tuned for our next video, which is going to be stretching for a lower body day.